Hello everyone, welcome back to the ObaNutrition channel. Today in this video, I'll be sharing about dietary interventions that you can actually use to treat diarrhea while at home. Now, I am not encouraging you not to seek medical attention from a doctor every time you're experiencing this, because some of it might be a case of food poisoning, cholera, or typhoid, which are very fatal conditions. However, I'm giving you a few tips that you can use while at home in order to experience some relief from it or even fully recover from it. These dietary interventions, I discovered them while back in campus when I had drank contaminated water which was not even treated. So what happened is I experienced several bouts of diarrhea, and to some extent I was tempted to go to a pharmacy and buy some medication. However, I wanted to test the strength of my body to see if I could actually recover from it without use of medications. This led me to try several methods which are kind of herbal medicine in order to experience relief from it and even recover from it. So which are these methods? The first thing, every time you're experiencing diarrhea, you have to stop consuming sugar. Why is sugar more of a concern whenever you're having diarrhea? Because majority of the pathogens that normally cause it, they consume it for energy. So if you're still taking sugared tea, sugared coffee, or even soda, energy drinks, and you're having diarrhea, this will only worsen over time and it will be unresolved because you're actually feeding these pathogens the food that they need to actually multiply. So if you're having a child and maybe they're addicted to sugar and they're already having diarrhea, it's good to start weaning them from that sugar immediately such a symptom occurs. Otherwise, if you do not, the condition will continue escalating further, causing them to lose a lot of electrolytes, to become dehydrated, and which at times can cause them to move to a worse state. The other problem with sugar is because it weakens the acidic environment on your stomach. So the stomach has something we call hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid is essential to kill pathogens that you consume, whether you are taking water or food, so that they do not affect other parts of your body. So if you're having a very weak hydrochloric acid in your stomach, it means these pathogens will thrive and therefore causing you to have diarrhea. So the more you consume sugar whenever you're having this condition, the more the episodes that you'll have, and even your condition itself will even escalate further into a worse state. The second point is that you have to start doing intermittent fasting. Now, during this period when I had my bouts of diarrhea, when I'd consumed that contaminated water, I tried doing that 6-hour fasting. What I realized with it is this happened. The number of episodes actually reduced very drastically. And this gave me something to think about. This could be the reason why the body by itself decides to induce hyporexia or low appetite. This is as a means of the body trying to starve the pathogens of food, because your body can actually use the fat stores in your adipose tissue, the glycogen in your liver to actually provide energy for itself. But these pathogens do not have that ability. So they will actually die in the process whenever you are fasting during this time. Now, which is the best method to use during this period of time? For me, I had tried that 6-hour method of fasting, but this worked for me because I was actually experienced with it. This might not work for people who are not experienced with it, or even children at times. So my advice would be to reduce the number of eating episodes, especially for children. If they are eating 6 times a day and they're having this diarrhea, it would be good to reduce the number of times, and especially while reducing it, also remove the sugar. Because the more they eat, the more the pathogens are getting fed, and the more the sugar they consume, the more these pathogens will get fed. If you're an adult and you are also having it, my advice would be to do 2 meals a day or even 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day is actually the best to actually enhance the immune system, which has caused you to have that low appetite in order to starve these pathogens. However, for children, it might be good to reduce the number of snacks they are consuming in order to fight these pathogens completely. The third method that you're supposed to do is start consuming salt. Salt is very important during this period of time. And even if you are to go to a hospital, or even your child was to go to a hospital, or even a relative, the first treatment that the doctor will prescribe if they are saying they have a symptoms of diarrhea is they will be given either IV fluids such as normal saline, which actually has the salt. They can also be given oral rehydration salts, which also have the sodium that is found in salt. So why is salt very important? Every time you are having very loose stool, passing very loose stool very frequently, you are losing lots of electrolytes such as sodium through your stool. This can cause you to feel weak, having muscle cramps, and this is the reason why you always lose even the ability to walk for longer distance during this time, because much of your electrolytes are lost. Also, sodium is very vital in order to strengthen the strength of your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. Remember, the hydrochloric acid is also comprised of the hydrogen and chloride ions. These chloride ions are found in salt. Salt is made up of sodium and chloride. So the chloride ions in salt will provide them for your hydrochloric acid in your stomach, thereby strengthening that acidic environment and finally killing these pathogens completely. The fourth method you're supposed to do is eat foods that are very rich in potassium. Now, the other IV fluid that your doctor will prescribe to you whenever you're having diarrhea also is Ringer's lactate, or even normal saline that has been supplemented with potassium chloride. So Ringer's lactate has both sodium, which is in salt, and the potassium, which you can actually get from food. Also, the normal saline that has been supplemented with potassium chloride will give you both the salt that you'll find from table salt and even this potassium. So if you are to consume foods that are rich in potassium, you'll replace the electrolytes that you have lost through diarrhea or passing loose stool. These foods that are rich in potassium include avocados, bananas, pumpkins, Irish potatoes, sweet potatoes, butternuts, and especially vegetables. They are very rich in potassium and they will supplement your potassium losses that you have lost through passing loose stool. Another way you can actually get the potassium chloride that the doctor prescribes to you is actually taking salted avocado. The avocado will give you the potassium, and the salt, the sodium. And also the salt itself has the chloride, so you'll get all this in a package actually from food. The fifth method that you can do, which works almost instantaneously, is adding 2 tablespoons of vinegar thrice a day into a glass of water and then drinking it. So you can add 2 tablespoons of vinegar, which contain now acetic acid. Now this acetic acid helps in strengthening not only the acidic environment in your stomach, but also in your colon. So majority of people know that the environment of the stomach is acidic, but also your colon or the large intestines, where your stool is actually formed, it is also acidic in nature. However, the acidic environment around there is a bit weaker as compared to the stomach. For the stomach, it is a pH of 1 to 2, while at the colon is a pH of 5. However, when the pH at the colon crosses to basic, you can actually have several unresolving bouts of diarrhea. So consuming this vinegar will actually strengthen that acidic environment around your colon, and you'll now start passing well-formed stool, which is not loose. Now this is the final method, the sixth method that you're supposed to do. You stop consuming foods that have lactulose, or even medication that has lactulose. Now lactulose is something that actually softens your stool. So if you are taking medication that has lactulose and you're still having diarrhea, it means your stool will continuously be very loose. If you are consuming foods that also have this lactulose, such as the plums or even milk itself, it will cause you to also pass loose stool continuously. So those are the 6 dietary approaches that you can actually use to actually treat diarrhea or a condition of passing very loose stool. So thank you for watching this video and see you next time.